You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.CFRN.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.CFRN.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 12th day of February, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office or away from your desktop, not to worry, point any internet-connected browser to CFRN.net/live, and there you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at CFRN. All right, let's bring up a chart. S&P 500. The daily. And there we are, still pressing higher. This 38% Fibonacci extension that we drew overhead. Now, going back to this swing low, put it on October 3rd, to the swing high, January 22nd, to the retracement low on January 31st. Here we are today with a intraday high of 33.77. Yesterday we had a high of 33.74 half. So we've put in a new all-time historic high. And the close yesterday was 33.59 and a quarter. Despite coronavirus, despite the Fed testifying before Congress, despite all the things that would hold a market down or send shivers of fear and worry through the market, it continues to climb. Does it defy logic? I don't know. I guess maybe this is the new logic. Let's take a look at the numbers from around the world. We'll start with the cash markets here in the U.S. Currently the Dow up 207 points, NASDAQ up 65, S&P 500 up 17, and the Russell 2000 up 7.5. In the commodity basket, crude oil up $1.42. That's almost a 3% gain. And gold up $2.70, trading 1572.80 last. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a gain of 175. Shanghai posted a gain of 25. The Hang Seng posted a gain of 239 points. Now, the epicenter of this coronavirus, the Asian markets, the Chinese markets, to see those trading higher on the session, unpredictable. European markets at the close, the FTSE was up 34, the DAX up 121, the CAC up 49. That gives us a green day in Asia, a green day in Europe. There's a big green radio Wednesday here in the US of A. I don't know if Michael's ready yet, but if you are, Michael, we'll go to you for a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Okay, I'll take that as he's not quite ready yet. So, let's do this. Let's take a look at last night's Concierge Trade Alerts. If you want to grab a screenshot, I'm going to drag it up there so you can do just exactly that. Got them out last night at 9 p.m. Eastern. The window I try to get them out is the Globex open sometime between 6 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. So got them out at 9 p.m. Eastern last night. So let's just take a look. And I'll do a Michael check one more time first before I launch into this. Okay. All right. On the S&P, consider being long 33.64. And that happened right about here.
Okay.
There's Michael.
Hey, here I am. Here I am.
How are you today?
I am well, thanks. How are you?
Good.
We had a yellow day today.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's the truth about trading.
not a lot of opportunity.
That's the truth about trading.
Yes. You want me to take the charts?
Yeah, if
Is
you're
that where you
ready.
were?
Yeah, if you're ready, go ahead
Yeah.
and take them away.
Okay, I got him. Here we go. There is that, and here is this.
Alrighty, it's all yours.
Okay, got it. Thanks. All right, here we go. If you have not taken a free trial and you want to take the free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us the biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Hit the send button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do that. All right, the results today, we ended up with a yellow day. We got 5 ticks in gold. Bart says I got a little bit more than that, but I don't think I did. No, I know I didn't. 5 ticks in gold is what I got. And that was over only 3 trading opportunities. Okay, so we didn't have a lot of opportunity today. On the month now, though, we're at $1,415. That's over 8 days. We're averaging $176 a day, which is great. That's one contract, 2 hours per day. Okay, on the year, we're at $4,213. That's over 27 days, averaging $156 per day. 156 per day. Okay, and you got to remember that is one contract, 2 hours per day. All right. And so I'll go over the gold here. On the gold, we started out this morning right here, and we had to break even. Then we didn't have any opportunity, then we finally got some opportunity, and we picked up 5 ticks on that trade. Then again, gold is going up. Nothing's matching down here. All right, you get into the break, and now this was probably going into the high of the day, so there wouldn't have been any trade set up in there. Okay, and the cycle's going down too steep over here. It's going down too steep over here to go long, obviously, and you wouldn't want to go long. So it's trying to set up a short, but we're printing dynamic support dots right here. I don't know if you see those. It went from red to green. So we had broken dynamic resistance, and now it's dynamic support. We'll just have to wait and see what gold's going to do, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not going to do anything. On the euro, well, this is the whole day in the euro. All right, now I was drawing the trend lines, but the euro was going into the low of the day at the time. Okay, so we couldn't really do anything with it. As much as, I wanted to jump in and take something out of the euro, we just didn't have any opportunity. You can see right now, we have bearish separation down here. That means the cycle is red and below the green line. And price is starting to pull back. It's starting to pull back up to the BBC. Now, if it does pull back up to the BBC, we should have a good shorting opportunity. You see how steep the MA1 is right there? If that doesn't change on this pullback, then it should be a good shorting opportunity going into the low of the day. Okay. But you got to watch all that right there. There's a lot going on right there. Crude oil, which is our favorite market, sadly did not produce at all for us today. We had just this one break-even trade right here. There was another one right here that we missed that would have gotten us the goal for the day, but I didn't get filled. And let's see, over here, this is all during the break here. It got really choppy, and there were no trade opportunities in there. but I'm going to draw a trend line, and we can look at this. Now, we had crude inventories come out today, and surprisingly, didn't move the markets at all because it was way off. All right, there's a momentum long trade right there. That would have been a break-even trade, and that was it. So yeah, today's been kind of weird with all the markets. You know, Powell's testifying again, but you see when the crude inventories came out, no reaction. You know, there was some volume, but price didn't move. And my number for the week is 50, based on the API numbers yesterday. It is 50. This is where crude's going to try to get back to. The ES thing, what can I say? There's, you know, there was a couple of moves here, but no trend to go with those moves. And no trades either, because we had no trend. And then it just got completely sideways right here. I'm sure that's what Dwayne's going to be talking about when he talks about everything else. And here is a long opportunity. Okay, right here was a long opportunity. That was toward the end of the session, and we weren't trending. That's why I didn't really do anything with it. Okay, I wanted to wait until we established a nice trend. And this is not a nice trend. Okay. And that was it. I mean, the whole morning has been kind of unusual without giving us any opportunities. Okay. Now, back to the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 12th day of February, 2020. And we made 5 ticks in gold. That was it. Slow morning. We only had 3 trades this morning. And on month now, we're at $1,415. That's over 8 days, averaging $176 a day. Now that is per contract. All right, that's one contract, 2 hours per day. On the year, $4,213. That's over 27 days, averaging $156 per day. Again, that is one contract with just 2 hours per day. Okay. Yeah, I gotta fix this. This equals this times 2 plus this. There. Okay, so if you were to add one contract per month, then right now, one contract per month and did everything exactly the same as I did, then right now you'd be at 2 contracts. And on the year, you would be at $5,628. Okay. And now let's go back here. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us your biggest trading challenge, so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Okay, hit the send button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. All right. If you don't click the link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Did Sydney make it in? Yes, good. Did David make it in? Hey, David did. But okay. And that's it, guys. With that, if Dwayne is ready, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
And we're ready.
And there it is.
And there it is. All right. I think John might be logged in.
Hold on.
Or not, he's logging in.
Yeah, he's not logged in yet, but I'll keep an eye out for him.
Okie doke. So the recap of the recap was a yellow day.
It was a yellow day. We only had 3 trades, and we picked up 5 ticks in gold. Yeah, we had 1 break even in gold, 1 break even in crude. We missed 1 trade in crude that would have gotten us the gold for the day. But it was a yellow day today, sadly. I mean, you can see it right there in your charts. You know, a lot of sideways action.
Yeah, I mean, we managed to eke out a new high.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any sign of a sell-off here. There's just be another, if anything, another pullback to the BBC. You can see what happened right here when we pull back. Well, we can go all the way back to, well, I guess this was the first pullback right here. And then we pull back again. Then we pull back again. And yeah, remember these 2 red bars are met with a big green bar. And it doesn't even look like it wants to pull back to the BBC.
No, it looks like it wants to stick there at the MA1.
Yeah, and just roll sideways, or maybe, you know, try to close higher on the session. There's Johnny.
Yep, there he is.
Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Well, you know, we got our sell-off. If you remember, I told you a little bit after the show yesterday, I thought we might sell off, and we did. But this kind of overnight reversal is kind of pretty amazing, frankly. And the whole world is higher today, sharply higher, actually. And BABA is close to all-time highs, which, given everything going on in China, is pretty amazing. So the only thing you can conclude from this is there's some kind of a worldwide intervention going on. With Lagarde, you know, she's pretty close to Trump. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's been a lot of, you know, conferencing and coordination going on, you know, even with the Chinese. You know, the best thing, as Reagan used to say, the best way to unite the world is to be attacked by an alien space force or something. You know, could rally the world, and this is obviously rallying the world in a big way. And you know, people are not so preoccupied with trying to get the upper hand on each other like Putin wants to be doing all the time. So. I mean, he's obviously taken it pretty seriously if he shut the entire border with China, 2,600 miles, and I'm sure he's...
They've only got, Russia only has 1 confirmed case, right?
Maybe just 1, yeah. I mean, look, the real thing, as I said last week, you know, the worst point of the market was probably when this news about the, you know, the 50,000 dead and a million and a half, maybe 2 million infected came out. You know, the market sort of took it in its stride, and we've really been going higher since then. And you know, look, the way, if that's the truth, and they're, you know, manipulating these figures to make it look like, you know, the rate of infection is slowing down, which it appears to be. The real thing is, I mean, I think the cruise ship is an example of how rapidly this thing can spread. You know, it's up to 170 now, so it's gone from like 1 to 170. That's pretty incredible. The big question is you know, in the next few days, is the world going to wake up to you know, thousands of infections around the world, you know, suddenly popping up out of nowhere? That's really the big question, I think. And but right now, you know, we're making new record highs in the Dow. Every time this market has hit a new record high, it's gone higher basically. So the fact that the Dow hasn't hit a record high for a while and it's now breaking up is a very big deal. And I think that the Dow is sort of on a mission to get to 30,000 right now, and we're you know, for all I know, we could have a 400-point update today, the way it's looking. This is a pretty, you know, pullback to 107 to only up 175 a while ago, and now it's starting to accelerate higher. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty strong finish this afternoon, and you can actually see you know, I think the pullback. You know, there might be another pullback before the close or into the afternoon. There's sometimes a bit of a shakeout, but the pullback appears to have already happened. You know, we had
I agree.
kind of
Yeah, I've got the Dow chart up right now. We pulled back, and we've got that little wick there on that 30-minute candle, and then we're right back to building another green candle, and we just opened another candle, and it looks like it's ready to move higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, listen, the reason why this thing is moving up, and by the way, we're up 300 on the transports. We're up 99, but the Dow equivalent in Dow points is about 300. So that's a pretty big deal. Can you put up SHOP, SHOP?
I sure can. Is that Shopify?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. It's just absolutely insane. This thing's up like $100-something, right?
I take it they beat their numbers.
Well, you know, this is a bit like Amazon. If you can put Amazon up a minute, you know, these.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, can you put Amazon up?
Amazon, sure. You heard Crown. I don't know if you heard Trump crown the $1 trillion club as the MAGA stocks.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Microsoft,
Pretty clever.
Amazon, Google.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
Looks like we might be getting a little bit of a pullback here, possibly. But anyway, yeah.
You said Amazon, right? Okay.
Yeah. See, look at Amazon. It blew away its numbers, right? Had a couple of down days, not down days, but pullback days, and then it kind of hung around, and now it's accelerating higher. And yesterday was a doji, and we're above it, so that's pretty
bullish.
Pretty unusual. Yeah. And look, this thing I was telling you about yesterday, it's been working extremely well. I got to tell you, this thing is just a pretty incredible discovery for me, because it just seems to pinpoint these turning points with precision. And you know, and if you get a signal and it gets negated, just like this Amazon, you just go with it, and it probably goes higher. You know, another stock that is doing pretty well today is Akamai.
Wow.
Yeah, this thing that I told you about worked extremely well on Akamai this morning. It just tell you what, the signals I got off it were really just perfect. There was a buy on the open, and it gave a sell signal up around 103, and hang on a minute, there was actually a secondary rally. Then it gave a buy around 99, ran up to about 101 say, and now it's kind of, you know, a bit subdued. And with that big spike, I would be careful about buying it just yet, you know. But if it starts to turn up in a few days' time, then or even a few hours' time, then it might be a play. But I mean, the airlines are all up today. It's just staggering. And of course, let's look at Apple.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's on a 30-minute chart.
Yeah, I mean, this Apple is another juggernaut, and Google, and all the FANGs basically. We haven't had the FANGs, we haven't had a synchronized move in the FANGs for a long time, and the fact that they're really leading the market now is it's incredible situation actually. It's probably I think we're in. Look, this is a lot like 1999. This market, when Yahoo was going crazy and things like with Yahoo. I mean, it actually would open higher and go down and maybe close on the low, and then the next day you come in and then it was up again. It was kind of like just very similar to this market. So, since considering that was 99 and we didn't top out till March of 2000, this was like November, December 99, I guess. So, it had a few months to run. And I mean, look, we talked about, before this year started about, when you're up 25% on the previous year, which we pretty much were, on the tech side in 2019, it's not unreasonable, as I said months ago, it's not unreasonable to get a 10 to 15% additional rally the following year. And after a kind of a bit of and remember, we had a blistering start to January. I mean, we had one of the best January starts ever, and this is the personification of it. So of the personification of the continuation of this January rally. So it's pretty amazing. And when you've got the FANGs all synced like they are, and they're all moving the same way, I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of an edge in terms of trading the indices, because it's an extra, you just have more confidence that the market's gonna continue the rally. And on these trend days, what happens is, like, we had this pullback earlier on, and it kind of shunted around for a while before it got going. And as I said to you, over the last few days, the market has a habit of correcting down and sort of scaring you, so you're gonna care, it's hard to pick the exact bottom. But once they get going, you tend to get these trends, and almost every single rally that's unfolded has been a winner, been a big winner. It's probably gone up more than anybody thinks. So you have to be, you just have to bite the bullet and make these trades when they happen. And if you see a sell signal coming into the thing, then it's probably wise to get out, because you never know if we're going to have another yesterday happen again today. You could have a late sell-off in the afternoon. It's distinctly possible. But
well, yeah, Apple sold off quite well into the close yesterday, and then gapped higher this morning.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, look, the other thing is we're an anniversary market, right? So 2 years ago we had the February sell-off, and it only lasted a week before we rallied. Remember, there was the Friday. We had a whole down week, and we rallied on the Friday, and then we had a pretty big recovery, pretty big rebound, and then there was another sell-off later in February, I think, and in 2016, I made my call when 2016, when Trump won New Hampshire. That was the bottom. That was the bottom of the correction. That was, that just for the benefit, I guess, for the benefit of new listeners, I can explain the theory behind the whole 2015-16. We basically topped out in 2014 on the 2014-15 on the QE, the amazing QE from 12 to 14, and as the economy was starting to underperform and all these people were out of work, there was that 24th of August 2015, we had a 1,000-point down day, and then a few days later, September 29th, Trump announced his tax plan. And the market made a secondary low off that, so it went down 1,000 points on the 24th, but it bounced right back. And then sometime in September, towards the end of September, it made a secondary low. Trump came out and announced his tax plan, and from that day forward, we actually predicted at the time it'd be about a 2,000 point run up into the end of the year, which we got. Sorry, into the end of 2015, right? So into 2016, and then remember the first few days of 2016, the market got clobbered, and we went down into the middle of January. We rallied up, and then we went down into the 10th of February, and on the 10th of February, I think it was, that Trump got New Hampshire. We predicted another 2,000 point rally to the upside into the summer. And then the market peaked in August of 16 and sort of went down towards the election and was more volatile. Now, the interesting thing is that why did the market behave this way? There were three factors, in other words, we're in an election year. Why is the market going up right now? Why did it go up with Bernie winning last night? I guess because the system worked. There wasn't the screw up that they had in Iowa. That's probably one reason, and there's other reasons around the world that are making the market go up. So why did it happen in 2016? Because there were three factors pushing the market higher. There was the potential third term of Obama, which would have been Hillary win. That was somewhat bullish. Then there was the Trump factor, and then there was also the election year factor. That's and we ended up having a pretty good year. And the other factor that was we got cheated out of, the pre-election year was a dud. And in fact, both of Obama's terms, the third year was a non-starter. Normally, the third year is very bullish, as we just found out last year. In fact, we kind of were owed, we were overdue for a decent third year. And thanks to Trump, we finally got it. So that's the theory. And then, of course, on the election night, we had another 1,000 point down spike, followed by an almost instant reversal. And ever since then, we almost never stopped. So, we're getting into a stage. Remember, when you have a 2009 situation and the market is on its knees and it's really, really hard to kind of crank the economy, it took a lot of stimulus. The biggest mistake that was made in 2009 was they didn't do enough. And this is a problem with most Feds. You have to really pull out all the stops to get the economy out of a recession. The difference today is, when the fire, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. So these Fed repos, this $1.5 trillion that's been pumped into the market, is ginormous, and that is what we are seeing right in front of our eyes right now. Now, when we first saw this last year, I kind of bought it up, and of course, nothing was happening because we'd been told there was going to be a recession, back in August, and I said no, it's going to get better. Things are going to get better, and the market's going to take off, and it's never really looked back since, apart from these couple of pullbacks. I mean, you got to look at Microsoft, because the way this stock has performed. The last year has been nothing short of phenomenal. it's all of these stocks have the potential to go parabolic. And look, when Microsoft, if you could put up like a 30-minute on Microsoft, or maybe even a 5-minute, right?
There you go. There's a 5-minute.
Right. Look, when you get a really strong stock that was just making all-time highs and it pulls back as sharply as Microsoft did, you really have an opportunity to go in and buy this thing this morning. And and now it's sort of giving a secondary buy. So it's kind of got a head and shoulders. See that head and shoulders there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you squeeze it up to a 30-minute, you might get a better sense of, because somebody told me yesterday, isn't this thing going to go to $200? Well, it probably is, but it just had this pullback first. And look at every single pullback. Look what happens next with Microsoft. So.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's heading higher.
Yeah. So right. So I guess we're probably. We're Wednesday today and making new all-time highs. It's hard to see anything's going to knock this thing down between now and Friday. Given how we started the week, and then we had this pullback yesterday, and we're on our way back again. It kind of looks pretty, self-correcting and potentially pretty bullish. And then, and look, if you are going to buy stocks, the best days to buy stocks safely is days when the market's strong. When the market's up.
Right.
Now, there is a bit of a thing going on with the metals. The metals, kind of closed yesterday, the gold stocks, that is, like they could potentially break out, but they're a little bit lower today. So I actually got an early buy signal on the gold this morning, and got a bit of a sell, but oh, by the way, let's have a look at palladium, because that's just awesome. The daily on palladium would be. It actually looks like palladium is going to new records. Look at that chart.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of like the market looked like a few days ago. And so what else? Let's have a look at MELI, MELI, Mercado Libre.
Okay, there you go. That's a daily.
See, there's another example of a stock that just made an all-time high and pulled back a bit, and now it's going up again. So very very impressive. What else? I guess quick look at Google.
There we go.
Yeah, remember Google missed, and it's gone to an all-time high in spite of it all. So that's pretty powerful. Let's see. Let's have a look at XLRN. INSM. Yeah, it looks like that Acceleron's going to go higher. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised that stock gets bought out by somebody. It just looks. I mean, if it's, that's an interesting thing here. Why don't you put up Merck?
There we go.
No, MRK. Sorry.
MRK.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, what's going wrong with this company? It's kind of weird. If you could put a bit more history on it, If I was running Merck, I'd probably be buying Acceleron right now, because given the way that stock's acting, it's incredibly bullish. Looks like it's got more upside. It's a similar story to Intercept, and obviously whatever's going on with Merck. I mean, the stock's not even going up with this virus. You'd think that they'd be pulling out all the stops to come up with a vaccine and making some announcements about it, but it's obviously getting hit pretty hard, and it's one of the it is a forerunner of what could happen to stocks maybe next quarter, when stocks that have gone up one year at some point tend to go down the next year. And Merck is, I mean, look, it was an all-time high right into the end of the year, and then something happened and bang, down we go. So that is something that's coming for this market before too long. And you always have to remember that. In the same way that we went up last night, like magic, and we've opened like way higher today. One of these days, you're going to wake up and it's going to be the opposite, and maybe with additional downside. For sure, a day like that is coming. Sometime before, sometime soon. So we have to be ready for that. Can we look at Intercept ICPT, because that was actually acting quite well in the last few days.
There we go.
Not so much. It looked like it was going somewhere yesterday, but it kind of got a bit subdued. But still, it came down and tested that gap, and it didn't fill it. See that? It's quite interesting.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, have a look at MDGL, Madrigal. It's a different story. Remember, I mentioned that several dollars ago, like $5 ago, maybe $7 ago, that it looked pretty good, that stock. And with the stuff I'm doing, I can actually, I can almost gauge the strength of stocks. And when you see that, like the Palladium today, was giving me strong buys, several hours ago, right before it went substantially higher. And Palladium is a very, very tough deal to trade. It's really tricky. It's very tricky. You have to have your wits about you, because it can move very, very rapidly. And if you get the wrong trade entry point or location, you can get your head handed to you. So, well, a little bit of a pullback coming again. Yeah, and the thing about these pullbacks is you never know whether it's going to be a big one or a little one. But this one actually looks like it might develop into something here, as we're looking right now.
Well, this S&P, it doesn't seem to want to go lower. I mean, we just had a 30-minute doji right there, and we're still, just marginally off the highs of the session.
Yeah, I mean, this just could be a mini deal, and then we're higher again. The thing, what happens on a day like today is, which is amazing, is look, days actually Monday was a good example. You gotta be ready. I mean, you don't get these days very often, but Monday was a very key day, because we opened lower. Remember, we were kind of up, we were kind of unchanged, and then all of a sudden the Dow went down a couple of hundred points, and next thing you know, it's a buy right from the open, right? And we've had a number of these days, where we open lower and we go higher. 9 times out of 10, when a stock goes, opens lower and starts going higher, it's almost always a buy. And really, that's what happened with the market. And so we had a sensational Monday start to the week. And and we're still seeing the power of that. But what I was getting at is, when you get these trends, it just like, I mean, when you see a day like, well, we started out at 3 o'clock in the morning, I think we were unchanged, right? Or maybe down. There was a bit of a pullback, and then it recovered pretty sharply. So during the night, maybe we went from being up. Well, we looked last night before we were negative or maybe barely positive on the indices after 4 o'clock, right? And then we basically been building value all night, and we're continuing to build the value during the day. So, and when that happens, it generally is very positive. Listen, I better call it a day, but thanks very much.
Hey, John, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. It's a hard exit stage left. All right, on the S&P again.
That was, it sounded like you fell down.
Yeah, I hope he's all right. All right, so here's the S&P. Last night's Concierge Trade Alert to be long, 33.64. Market made 12 points available. $50 a point, that's $600 per contract traded. If you got out right at the high, which is, it's difficult to get out at a swing high or swing low. So however you manage your trade, wherever you took profits, or hey, maybe you're still in it looking for higher prices. The alert for the Dow, consider being long, 29,325. Made 160 points roughly available. And unlike the S&P, since we got this bullish cross right here about 11 p.m. last night, we have not pulled back to the BBC. This candle here, though, on the Dow, looks like it might want to do that. So if we do pull back to the BBC, then stand by for a potential rally into the afternoon, back up to the highs of the session. On the Russell, we've already had the pullback. Last night's alert, consider being long, 1682.
We just lost your audio.
82.
There you go.
Oh, I just stopped talking.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, 1682, and we put in a swing high at 91.90. So call it 9 points, $50 a point. That's what the market made available. We pulled back to the trigger. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we came back to 1681.70. The trigger was 82, so technically that puts us below the trigger by 3 ticks, and it's starting to climb again. Got a high so far on this secondary move up to 1688.30. On the NQ, last night's alert, consider being long, 95.73. There's 73. So from 95.73, you had 1, 2, 3 moves higher, and we're still up at the high of the session. Swing high 96.20. On crude, yeah, that was surprising. I heard you mention this morning that there was no movement on crude.
Yeah, when the inventories came out, it just went sideways. Didn't do anything. It was volume, but there was no movement. It was weird. I mean, the markets today have just been off, and I don't know why. I mean, we had some news come out. Let me go see what the news was. Hold on a sec. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, we had crude inventories actually came out, and it was, it was supposed to be, they were anticipating a build of 3.1 million. The API numbers were suggesting, from yesterday, were suggesting that the number was going to be a much higher, and it was actually 7.5 million, a build of 7.5 million. And this afternoon we have a 10-year bond auction, and that's low impact. It's due to come out at 1 o'clock. Powell testifying, I think, is what stagnated the markets. I think that is what did it.
I would agree. This move in crude was to get long 50.80, and we put in a high of 51.73. If we had ticked up just a bit higher to 51.80, if we had gotten that high, that's $1,000 per contract traded right there over the course of an hour and a half. Now this first little trigger just pulled back into the CFMA1, actually reached down, touched the BBC right there, and then took off ahead of the inventory numbers. Maybe the numbers got leaked this morning, because it was at 8 o'clock that it really started to climb. It took a pause at 8:30, and then at 9 a.m. Eastern, it took off.
Yeah, well, 9 a.m., that's when the crude markets actually open up. And that's when between 9 and 9:30 is usually a really good time to trade crude.
Yep, it was a nice move up.
It certainly was.
Gold has done nothing but just crawled sideways. Let's take a look on last night on crude, or on gold. Considering a long 1574, never made it there. Consider being short 1568, which we did make. There's 1568 right there. And that sell-off from 68 took us down to 64.40. Call it 65. So that's a 3-point move at $100 a point. It's $300 per contract traded. And so far this week on Logic 247, we went one night with no alerts at all. But for the week so far, we've had a total of 14 alerts issued, 1 never triggered, 2 waiting, and so far nothing has stopped out, which is a bit unusual. We average about 20% on Logic 247. In fact, we'll take a little walk through.
The Sunday night trades were, you don't have to trade the rest of the week after you have a day like that.
So last week, week 79, we had 52 alerts total issued. We had 37 that were actionable, 12 never triggered, and 3 carried over. 3 stopped out, so 8% of the actionable alerts were stopped out. And then this week, we are in week 80. There's a carryover. And then we got into Sunday nights. There's crude, S&P, the Dow, the NQ. There's gold, the Russell, the S&P. And these never triggered. And then there's the Dow, and there's the NQ. So, it's been a good week so far for the Concierge Trade Alerts, as well as Logic 247. Let's go to our good word for the day. Practice being kind. Colossians 3:12 says that we should clothe ourselves with tender-hearted mercy and kindness. Since God chose you to be the holy people he loves, you must clothe yourselves with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Since the people we deal with every day notice what we wear, the Bible tells us to be sure and clothe ourselves with kindness. But sometimes kindness is the last thing on our minds. Think about how often you've passed a motorist stranded on the road and you didn't stop or even offer to call for help. Or you allowed the busyness and pressures of work to make you curt and short with others. When that happens, we need to be like the young man who worked in the produce section of a supermarket. His first day on the job, a lady approached him wanting to buy half a head of lettuce. He tried to dissuade her, but she insisted. Finally, he said, "I'll have to go talk to the manager about this." He walked to the rear of the shop, not realizing the woman had followed him. When he found the manager, he said, "There's a silly old lady out there who wants to buy half a head of lettuce. What should I tell her?" Seeing the horrified look on the manager's face, the boy turned around, saw the customer, regrouped, and said in his most gracious voice, "And this nice lady wants to buy the other half." Sometimes when you pay someone a compliment, they'll say, "You're too kind." But what they really mean is, "Say it again, Sam." After Confederate General Robert E. Lee retired from the military, he became president of Washington College in Lexington, Virginia. One day a new student came into his office asking for a copy of the rules and regulations. The old general replied, "Son, we don't have a rule book. Our only rule is kindness. So today, practice being kind." And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.